thoughtful effort. The audiences here are very lovable and relatively better mannered than in Vienna. They listen attentively and very sympathetically. The critics are the same as anywhere else. I don't read any of them. You can read more about composers and their critics at our website, composers-datebook.org. Composers Datebook is a production of APM, American Public Media, and the American Composers Forum, reminding you that all music was once new.
This episode of First Cup is brought to you by Wishing Stars Native Creations, Fine Art Today, and Marshall Woodworking. Check out these companies and many more by going to the Friends page at tinyurl.com/Gunther's House or tinyurl.com/GuntherMobile.
Seems like you've thought about this before.
It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally here. I will see my dream come alive at last. I will touch the sky, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna change my mind, 'cause I've got faith of the heart. Go where my heart will take me. I've got faith to believe I can do anything. I've got strength of the soul. No one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star. I've got faith. I've got faith. Faith of the heart.
Welcome back to Studio 4 on this beautiful Wednesday morning. It is the 20th day of November 2013, and time now for Celebrity Birthdays.
Heute kann es regnen, stürmen oder schneien, denn du strahlst es selber wie der Sonnenschein.
And take a look at Celebrity Birthdays for this Wednesday. Excuse me, I am having some indigestion issues here. U.S. Vice President Joe Biden is 71 today. Musician Joe Walsh, remember him from the Eagles and solo effort, is 66 today. Joe Walsh, life is good at 66. Joe McHale from the Soup and Community is 42. And if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. Now it's time to turn our attention for today in history, and give you a little bit of time here to raise your hands here, and I'll select someone to go back in time with me. And let's see here, where are we going back today? 1919, November 20th, 1919, for today in history. Have room for one passenger in the time machine, and I've chosen you. Yeah, you. Come on up here. Go ahead, get in the car. Get in the car. Get in the car. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Anyway, time to head back to 1919 for this segment in history. So let me turn on the time circuits, and away we go. And on this date in 1919, November 20th, 1919, the first municipal airport opened in the United States. It opened in Tucson, Arizona, because everybody in the town was in a hurry to get out of Tucson. My question is, where the hell were they flying to or flying from to land in Tucson? Would you need another airport? Or is it just people going, oh, there's an airport. Too bad we don't have another airport to fly to. Anyway, for more of Today in History, let's go to the Associated Press.
November 20th, 1945. Months after World War II ends in Europe, 24 Nazi leaders go on trial before an International War Crimes Tribunal in Nuremberg, Germany. 1925.
Violence or lawlessness or rioting makes no sense whatsoever in the United States.
Robert F. Kennedy, one of the most enduring icons from American politics in the 1960s, is born in Brookline, Massachusetts. 1947.
The whole world joins Britain in wishing two young people long life, prosperity, and happiness as they embark on their new life.
Britain's Princess Elizabeth, future Queen Elizabeth II, marries Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, in London's Westminster Abbey. 1975. After nearly 4 decades of absolute rule, Spain's dictator General Francisco Franco dies in Madrid, 2 weeks before his 83rd birthday. 1910. Revolution breaks out in Mexico as Francisco Madero leads a revolt that sparks a wave of upheaval lasting the rest of the decade. And 1966.
Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome.
In New York, the musical Cabaret, set in 1930s Berlin before the Nazis' rise to power, opens on Broadway. Today in history, November 20th. Tim McGuire, The Associated Press.
This is Across Our Wide Missouri with Bob Critic.
It was a tense day in Skeleton Canyon, New Mexico, as the two adversaries met each other at last, the famed Indian Chief Geronimo and General Nelson Miles of the U.S. Army. Miles, insistent on Geronimo's surrender, had brought along his interpreters, but the Apache leader wouldn't speak through them. He would speak only through one man, a white man, a Missourian. So Tom Horn, a San Francisco newspaper said he was the only white man who could influence Geronimo, interpreted the negotiations that finally put the chief on a reservation for good. We'll tell his story in a minute. Tom Horn.
This episode of First Cup is brought to you by Wishing Stars Native Creations, Fine Art Today, and Marshall Woodworking. Check out these companies and many more by going to the Friends page at tinyurl.com/Gunther's House or tinyurl.com/Gunther Mobile.
Tom Horn was a man born too late. In many ways, he became a symbol of a day that was passing before his unwilling eyes. The ethic of survival was about the only principle he really followed. He'd grown up in Missouri of John Brown, Civil War guerrillas, and post-war outlaws and bushwhackers. He was a loner, didn't like school, preferred to hunt in the bottoms of Wyaconda Creek in Scotland County, near his hometown of Memphis. He developed a flair for tracking wild animals that he later applied to tracking bigger game, men. He left home when he was 15 after losing a fight with his father. Horn already was a 6-footer. He hired on as a laborer for the Santa Fe Railroad. He saw and took part in camp fights, saw and heard the gunfights that strengthened his survival ethic. He was packing a gun by the time he was 16. Once while hoorahing a town, Tom and some fellow cattle drivers killed 2 people. He left Texas after that, and he went to live in Kansas with his brother Charlie, who later wrote, "Our life back in Kansas was too tame for Tom. He wasn't content to cultivate 160, drink a little whiskey, pitch horseshoes on Sunday, marry a brood woman, and raise his own baseball 9. He learned languages well. He learned some German at home, Spanish in Texas. He started following gold strikes and wound up in Arizona hauling freight to so-called tame Apaches, and there he met gunfighter and scout Al Sieber, and through him got on the Army payroll. He was still in his teens when he was sent to live with and spy on the Apaches. He gained their trust, and he was the interpreter the first time General Crook got Geronimo back on the reservation after the chief had bolted. Eventually, he became Crook's chief of scouts. Horn was back in Missouri when he was 27 to have his tonsils yanked. Then he went back to Arizona, killed a Mexican military officer in a fight over a girl, and fled the territory. He rode the rodeo circuit for a while. He was quite good, and he passed up a chance to join Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. In Colorado, he met Doc Shores, the sheriff of Gunnison County, who helped persuade the Pinkerton Detective Agency to hire him. Horn was 30, widely known. He got into some scrapes with authority, which further soured him on organized law enforcement. He wasn't happy until he got range work looking into rustling cases. He was known as a relentless tracker who found nothing wrong with shooting somebody in the back if he had to. He came to despise settlers because too many sodbuster courts were letting men go that he had chased for days. Horn eventually left the Pinkertons and became a hired gun for the cattlemen. The Johnson County Range War in Wyoming found him hiring men. He did admit to killing one man for $800. Disappeared for a while, wound up in St. Louis, went into the Army for the Spanish-American War, but he didn't see much action at all. In 1901, he was hired by cattleman John Coble, and he killed a couple of people. One of them was a 13-year-old boy. Deputy Marshal Joseph LaForce finally caught him by getting Horn into a conversation in which he admitted killing the boy and some others. Unknown to him, a stenographer was hiding behind his supposedly locked door, writing it all down. When Tom Horn was tried, he was found guilty, and he was sentenced to hang. He escaped from jail once, but he was caught a few blocks away. He went to the gallows the day before his 43rd birthday in Cheyenne, Wyoming, silent about who had hired him to kill. It never did become public who had hired him to kill that 13-year-old boy, a killing that basically ended his career. Tom Horn's day was well past the day the floor dropped out from under him on this date, November 20th, in 1903.
Back to Studio 4 on this Wednesday morning. Still to come, we'll have the CBS World News Roundup, as well as news of the weird, popular tweets of the day, the song of the day, and what's on TV tonight. Right now, though, it's time for the Hump Day song of the day, of the week. And, of course, we've heard this one quite a bit in a recent, what commercial is that? It's the one with the oversized baby in place of the Mustang. Nationwide, I believe, is the ad. And anyway, this song was stuck in my head over the weekend, as advertisers do. You know, get a song that you're familiar with, and away you go. Although I'm surprised they chose this one. Let's see here. Do I have the right one? Yeah, this is the right one. Anyway, the tune is called Love is Strange. It's by... is a crossover hit by the American Rhythm and Blues duet by Mickey and Sylvia. It was released in late November of 1956 by the Groove record label. The song was based on a guitar riff by Jody Williams. The co-writers of the song are of some dispute, though. The song has also been recorded by Buddy Holly and Bo Diddley, among others. The guitar riff was also used by Dave Baby Cortez in his 1962 instrumental song Rinky Dink. At a concert at Howard Theater in Washington, D.C., Mickey and Sylvia heard Jody Williams play a guitar riff excuse me, that Williams had played on Billy Stewart's debut single, Billy Blues. Billy Blues was released as a single in June of 1956, and the instrumentation combined a regular blues styling with Afro-Cuban styling. Sylvia Robinson claims that she and Mickey Baker wrote the lyrics, while Bo Diddley claims that he wrote them. The first recorded version of Love is Strange was performed by Bo Diddley, who recorded his version on May 24th, 1956, with Jody Williams on lead guitar. The version was not released until its appearance on I'm a Man, the Chess Masters, 1955-1958. That was in 2007. Mickey and Sylvia's version was recorded several months later on October 17th, 1956. The song was noted for its spoken dialogue section, which you'll hear throughout the song in just a little bit. Let's see here. It peaked at number 1 on Billboard's R&B singles chart and at number 11 on the Hot 100. In 2004, Love is Strange was inducted to the Grammy Hall of Fame for its influence as a rock and roll single. The song was featured in Dirty Dancing and included on the soundtrack, which was one of the best-selling albums of all time. It also gained a following after appearing in Deep Throat film, and was featured in the Casino film, and featured in the Terrence Malick film Badlands. Mickey and Sylvia's version is heard in the nationwide commercial that was released just a few weeks ago, as I mentioned earlier. And now, without further delay, here is today's Hump Day song of the week, Mickey and Sylvia, and Love is Indeed Strange.